Everyone wants to know how to turn their cosplay wig from this to this, and here's exactly how. Now, my credentials are, well, I made this, but more importantly, this was just my second time making a helmet wig. So if I, a total beginner, can do it, then so can you. But first, let's get some basic stuff out of the way. You're gonna need a correctly sized wig head with all the features of your real head, where the midline is, the ears, the hairline, all drawn on to scale. And this helps to make sure that you have accurate weft placement and that the helmet actually fits your head, because nothing would be worse than spending so much time making a whole wig and realizing after the fact that it's way too big or so small that you can't even put it on. I like to size my wig head by putting duct tape and saran wrap around my whole head, and then the next step is to make sure that you are really crimping your hair well. The texture that crimping offers is great for holding on to adhesives like glue and hairspray, so without crimping, your wig hair will be slippery, plasticky, and hard to deal with. You also need to plan your supports carefully, so I'm using the drinking part of a water bottle, some warbler shaped like a cross, and then wire shaped like a figure 8. And all of these I just hot glue right onto the helmet. For batting, you have a few options. You could dye it or you could paint it with an airbrush. Airbrushing is actually my preference, but here I just dyed it because I had extra dye. Now, when you're making your wefts, know that doing this requires a lot of time, patience, and practice. Make sure you have all your supplies laid out before you get started, so that includes things like a syringe, a steamer, garbage can, toothbrush, things like that. And make sure as well that you have plenty of time. This is not something that you want to procrastinate until like the night before a con. I've made about 4 or 5 ponytail wigs now, all of which have taken 15 to 40 hours per wig, depending on the complexity of the attachment and the bangs. So for example, if you have a very short and straight ponytail, that's going to take less time, whereas a very complex and structured attachment is going to take more time. For this wig specifically, the attachment isn't particularly difficult in terms of its structure, but it is very long, like the hair goes basically down to my knees, so that's a lot of length that I have to detangle and to crimp. I also tore all the wefts from one long wig to glue onto the attachment piece. So to the ponytail core, I basically disassembled one wig, and then it was time to airbrush. So I wanted to add some shading, and I felt like her hair wasn't really blonde enough, especially when you're looking at the top. Make sure that when you are airbrushing, you're wearing proper protective equipment and working in a ventilated space. This is how my wig looked once I wore it on my head with the rest of the costume, and I realized that doing pin curls or a braided hairstyle would give me way less head pain or headaches than if I were to just throw my hair into like a big lump and then put the helmet on. And my last tip is to make sure you're looking out for tutorials and results from expert wig makers, so that can really inspire you and show you how a real pro might do things. As usual, thank you for watching, and here are some of my final photos. But yeah, let me know, would you ever make a helmet wig?